From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27 here on our Thursday morning. We do have a few stories to talk about today before we actually get into the show. So let's start with the stages of reopening here in the state of Indiana. We heard from Governor Eric Holcomb yesterday during his press briefing in the afternoon that the state is moving on to stage 5 on Saturday. Now this means that indoor and outdoor venues, restaurants, bars, clubs, they can operate at full capacity. Social distancing measures will still be required. Gyms and personal service businesses can also resume their normal operations. Size limits on gatherings are lifted, but organizers with events with more than 500 people do need to submit a written plan to the local health department. So we will continue to keep you updated on that, as well as the mask mandate that has been extended as we go into stage 5. So we'll let you know all what that means. But we also want to talk about schools reopening and the school dashboard that we've been talking about. We're getting a preview of that right now. We're learning that 70% of schools have entered data for this state dashboard, and this is something that will help determine if schools should be in class or if they should be doing virtual learning. This is more of a transparent thing that parents, teachers, staff members can look at. So we'll hear more from Dr. Box and see if we can get a timeline on when the school dashboard will go live. We do know that participation is not required as of now, but we're working to see if that will change in the future. Let's take a turn right now to our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by right now with what we can expect for our Thursday. And Todd, in the bottom of the screen radar, there's a little bit of rain moving in.
Yeah, look at that. It's been a little while since we've seen some green on the radar here, Lauren, but that's what we have there sneaking into the Bedford area. It's going to fade away pretty quickly here this morning, so don't get too excited if you're in some northern locations. But Bedford and Seymour, you'll have the potential here of seeing a few very light rain showers as we go throughout the next hour or two. Logansport 48 with clear skies, 58 in Indy, 62 in Muncie. And overall today is going to be a day that is going to feature mostly sunny skies. There's just a little bit of cloud cover early here this morning. Once that moves out, just nothing but sunshine here this afternoon, and high temperatures. Once again, they will be getting above normal. Our normal high is 75. Today up to 77. Tomorrow, Lauren, the 80s arrive across the area.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And also a big national story today, and it happened just south of us in Louisville. We did learn that they decided what would happen to the officers for the Breonna Taylor shooting death. We have learned that there are demonstrators spilling out all across the country and cities across the country, including Bloomington here in Indiana. So we'll take a look at the local protests that were happening, plus some violence in Louisville that happened yesterday. We'll have more on that, plus news, weather, and traffic coming up here on Good Morning Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Across the country, crowds take to the streets upset with the grand jury's decision in the Breonna Taylor case. How Hoosiers are reacting to the verdict. Progress being made to reopen Indiana. Working for you, what you need to know about the new regulations under stage 5 and the mask mandate. And virtual learning has made attendance at school a little bit more challenging. We'll take a look at how one school is adapting to help make sure that students are logging in to learn. But first, here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by right now with a look at our forecast. Todd, what does it feel like they're outside right now as people are waking up this morning?
You know, for one, Lauren, it's a little bit warmer than it has been the past few mornings, so you don't need as quite a heavy of jacket this morning as you may have the past a few days, as temperatures, instead of being in the 40s, pretty widespread, we're in the 50s and 60s, and it's all due to some cloud cover that it's out there this morning. 57 in Bloomington, 58 right now in Indy, 62 is the current temperature as you make your way into the Muncie area. And the skies, again, are mostly cloudy. You just can't really see it with the darkness out there, but you can see the visibility is not an issue for us this morning. And here are those clouds, and look at this, a few spotty showers sneaking in to far southern Indiana. Those will start to weaken. They're not going to make much progress to the north. The bulk of this rainfall is staying down to our south and then sliding off to our east. So our rain chances today, despite what you see on radar in southern locations, not great. Most of us will start off with just a little bit of cloud cover here this morning, and then really by mid-morning already we are turning sunny, and throughout the afternoon hours we keep the sunshine. Noontime temperature 70 degrees, just like the past couple days. We'll eventually see our high temperature top off right around 77 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look outside right now from our INDOT traffic camera at your commute here on the northwest side. This is I-465 and West 38th Street. You can see here traffic is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. We had some possible scheduled maintenance to happen in the right 3 lanes today, but it looks like right now everything is open and traveling smoothly, so that is good news if you're heading through that area at this time. So let's take you down to I-465 here and Washington Street on the west side, where traffic is pretty quiet this morning. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads. No major issues to slow you down at this hour. Overnight protests erupting across the country after the grand jury's decision in the case of Breonna Taylor, who was shot and killed by police back in March. From Louisville to D.C. to right here in central Indiana, crowds gathered to demand more action. Protesters violently clashing in Louisville after only one of the 3 officers involved in Breonna Taylor's case was indicted. Those charges not related to her death. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest now from Washington.
Overnight protests across the country following the grand jury's decision in the Breonna Taylor case. And in Louisville, demonstrations turning violent.
We have an officer down.
Investigators confirming 2 police officers were shot less than 1 hour before the city's curfew when a large crowd faced off with police in riot gear. Both officers with non-life-threatening injuries.
I am very concerned about the safety of our officers.
Kentucky's governor deploying roughly 500 members of the National Guard to help. Overnight, Joe Biden tweeting, even amidst the profound grief and anger today's decision generated, violence is never and can never be the answer. The president tweeted overnight he was praying for the officers shot, but refused to answer questions from ABC News about Breonna Taylor protesters.
I have a big
Mr.
call.
President, just one more question if I can on Breonna Taylor. People are protesting in the streets. What is your message to them?
Only one of the 3 officers involved in Taylor's shooting has been charged, but the charges aren't related to her death. Brett Hankinson now faces charges for allegedly endangering neighbors in the apartment complex. He's now out of jail on a $15,000 bond. The grand jury found the other officers involved in that raid gone wrong in March used their weapons justifiably. Detective Miles Cosgrove, who fired 16 times, and Sergeant John Mattingly, who fired 6 times.
The grand jury agreed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker.
Walker, Taylor's boyfriend, says he fired a warning shot from his legally owned gun when he did not hear police announce themselves. Breonna's family attorney in a statement called the decision offensive and another example of no accountability for the genocide of persons of color by white police officers. The FBI tells ABC News it is looking into all aspects of the Breonna Taylor case, and that includes the information used to get that search warrant and whether or not it was legal. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
At 4:35 back here in central Indiana, dozens of protesters marched through the streets of Bloomington, continuing to call for justice. Many IU students were among that group. We talked to Chandler Price, who says she's proud to see her classmates of all races join in on the demonstrations and chants saying Black Lives Matter.
I cried. You know, when I went to the first protest back at home when everything just went down, I cried because it's good to see other people that aren't black protesting. That means a lot. That's unity. And we're reaching out to more than just us. We're going to become powerful and strong. And that's what we need.
Well, as the protests continued into the night, everything remained peaceful there. Now to the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic. Reopening plans are set to move forward in the Hoosier State. Governor Eric Holcomb announcing that Indiana will move to Stage 5 on Saturday. That decision means that indoor and outdoor venues, restaurants, bars, and clubs can operate at full capacity. Social distancing measures will still be required. Gyms and personal service businesses can also resume normal operations. Size limits on gatherings will be lifted, but organizers of the events of more than 500 people will need to submit a written plan to their local health department. And even though we're progressing to Stage 5, the statewide mask mandate is still in effect. It has now been extended through October 17th. Governor Holcomb says wearing masks is essential to keeping the number of cases trending downward.
I know
No one wants to wear a face mask. I mean, this is different, especially for Americans and Hoosiers. I get it. It's not my preference either, but it's not my preference that the pandemic is on top of us either and follows us around.
Well, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's office says that Marion County plans to update its health order sometime this week. The county's restrictions have been stricter than the statewide guidelines. So here's a look at the latest numbers of cases. The State Department of Health confirming 728 new cases on Wednesday. That brings Indiana's total to more than 113,000 cases since the start of the pandemic. 10 new deaths were also reported, and the state's death toll now stands at 3,305. More than 1.3 million people have been tested for the virus so far. 8.6% of those tests have come back positive. It is 4:37. Indiana University is closing a fraternity in Bloomington for violating COVID-19 safety measures. The university has struggled with outbreaks at Greek houses since students returned last month. The Monroe County Health Department says that an investigation found that members of Alpha Epsilon Pi intentionally allowed conditions that might spread the virus, putting public health at risk. The members are also suspected of not telling police the truth about their actions. As a result, the fraternity will be closed through summer of next year. With many Hoosier students still learning remotely, attendance can be a challenge. So to help, a Northside High School is finding new ways to keep families on track. Teachers at Ace Preparatory Academy charter schools say that they start the day with a Zoom check-in before class. If a student is missing, a whole team is dedicated to reaching out and making sure students are logging on to learn.
We have a repurposed staff that typically work with scholars within the building but are not classroom teachers. So these would be instructional assistants or some of our cultural behavior specialists, and they are now family liaisons. And so they serve as kind of a second line of attack, so to speak, when it comes to providing supports to families for attendance.
Well, teachers at ACE say that some small changes like the new phone number can cause a disconnect between the school and students during virtual learning. 70% of students will be able to return to the classroom in October. At 438, Indianapolis-based delivery restaurant Cluster Truck is adding 2 more locations. They're opening 2 new kitchens in Broad Ripple and Fishers. The company has consistently grown since first opening in downtown back in 2016. Cluster Truck owner Chris Baggett says that the customers have begged for an expanded delivery zone, so they delivered. The Broad Ripple location will open on Monday, September 28th. The Fishers location will open Thursday, October 8th. Now, this comes less than a year after Cluster Truck opened a location in Carmel. Hiring Hoosiers is WRTV's commitment to connecting you to career training, education, and opportunities. 4 Hendricks County companies are teaming up for this virtual job fair this morning. Becton Dickinson and Company, Geodis, Harlan Bakeries, Weston Foods, and Maplehurst Bakeries are all taking part. This event runs from 10:30 to 11:30. For more information and a link to register, just visit hiringhoosiers.com. Also this afternoon, Best Buy is hosting job fairs at stores across the country to fill seasonal holiday positions. That will run from noon to 7 today and tomorrow. You could be interviewed and hired on the spot. Positions at a variety of departments are available. So one group is making sure eligible inmates know they can make their voices heard. Coming up, how they're helping those in jail vote and transition into the real world. And a new test from the Red Cross could be a game changer for COVID-19 treatment and research. Still ahead, how it works and what they can tell you from your donated plasma. Todd.
And Lauren, look at this. We haven't seen this in a little while on WRTV Storm Team radar, and that's some rain showers moving in to southern portions of central Indiana. So places like Bedford, over towards Mitchell, Seymour, even maybe Bloomington, you'll have the opportunity to get a few light rain showers here this morning before they fade away. We'll talk about the rest of today and look ahead to a really warm summer-like weekend ahead coming up in your Storm Team forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. With voter registration deadline coming up here, one group took the time to make sure that inmates who are eligible have what they need to cast their ballot. WRTV's Cornelius Hocker explains how this push is personal for the woman leading the efforts.
This is not work for me. This is my passion. That's Carlette Duffy on her role as Director of Reentry for the Office of Public Health and Safety.
Doing this kind of work, even on a volunteer basis in the community, had more of an impact on me than any type of other employment that I could have been doing.
Part of her work takes her to the jails in Marion County. On Saturday, she and her team helped eligible inmates register to vote.
They were very excited to do it, and it made them feel like they are a part of the process. Because for each person that came through, we thank them for allowing their voice to be heard.
Making sure the voiceless can find their voice is something very personal to Carlette.
Being the first director of reentry who has a criminal history and who was incarcerated. So in talking to them, I let them know I was where you are right now.
And she wouldn't be leading these efforts if it wasn't for the process of voting.
I was able to expunge my criminal history, and that is through legislation. That is through legislatures who are put in place because we vote.
Carlette tells me the work she's doing is so more people who are in situations like she was in have more opportunities to change their lives for the better.
My goal and my efforts are to do whatever I can in my capacity to lay a trail for those coming behind me that will make their walk a little easier.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Cornelius, thank you. Well, many people will continue to pay their respects today as the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg lies in repose at the U.S. Supreme Court. Her casket was set above the front steps for an outdoor viewing. Ginsburg's former law clerks are taking turns standing guard. Yesterday, Vice President Mike Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence were among those at the site. Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton also paid their respects. Tomorrow, Justice Ginsburg will lie in state in National Statuary Hall. That's in the U.S. Capitol. Fire crews continue to battle massive wildfires in California, leading to the largest in the state's history. The Creek Fire has burned more than 289,000 acres in Fresno and Madera counties, making it the largest single wildfire California has ever seen. More than 850 buildings have been destroyed by the flames. The fire has been burning for more than 2 weeks now, and it's only 32% contained. Federal investigators are working to find the cause of another fire near Los Angeles. The Bobcat fire has burned more than 113,000 acres, and officials say that it may have been sparked by Southern California Edison's utility equipment. This would not be the first time the power company has been blamed for wildfires. Last year, they agreed to pay $360 million to settle lawsuits over the fire sparked by its equipment. Right now, the Bobcat fire is 38% contained. Back here at home, dry conditions, Todd, as we haven't seen much rain. Are we going to get any anytime soon?
You know, southern areas here this morning going to get just a little bit. I'll show you that on radar in just a second. I do not think that rain is going to make it up here into the metro area. And this number, I know I keep showing it to you. That one's not changing, 0.04 of an inch of rain. What is changing are these two numbers. The last time we've had rain, which is 36 days ago, and the fact that we're now 2.34 inches below normal just for the month alone here in September. You can take that number and go back into the end of August, and it would be even a little bit higher. So we're contending with the dry conditions. Lauren was also telling you about the continuation of those forest fires out to the west, and we're dealing with some wildfire smoke just a little bit here throughout the day today. We had it yesterday, still kind of that haze out there, but today's probably the last day that we deal with the wildfire smoke as the weather pattern starts to shift a little bit, and that's when we're going to start to see better weather as far as visibilities go. Return to central Indiana for the weekend. 58 degrees right now, partly cloudy skies. Winds are out of the southwest, only at 3 miles per hour this morning. The winds are very, very light, and these temperatures are running warmer than they have been the past few mornings. 57 from Bloomington to Bedford, 56 in Tipton, Greenfield. Pair of fives for you. 54 is the current temperature over in Greencastle. And most of the area is dealing with some cloud cover this morning. All these clouds on the northern fringe of what was Tropical Storm Beta. And then you notice that we do have a few showers starting to sneak into areas here just south of Bedford as you work your way towards the Mitchell area. And then as you head US 50 down into the Shoals area, there's a little bit of a downpour. And some of these showers are going to slide into southern portions of Jackson County as well. And there are just, again, part of the system that is to our south. Here's the area of low pressure in Mississippi, and we're just on the northern fringe of this. So going forward, the question is, how far do these showers make their way to the north? And they're going to start to weaken over the next few hours. So I think maybe Bloomington, Columbus, Greensburg, you'll have the opportunity to maybe get a quick passing shower this morning, but Indianapolis is going to remain dry. By mid-morning, the clouds just give way to nothing but sunshine. So this morning we have some clouds. As we get into the afternoon hours, we break out into complete sunshine, albeit, as I mentioned, with that smoke around, a little bit of hazy sunshine. Temperatures warming to near 70 degrees by the noon hour, and then with mostly sunny skies this afternoon, here are your high temperatures going up to 77. A couple of you could get close to the 80-degree mark as well. This evening, sunset now at 7:38. Skies will be clear this evening, should be pleasant, mid-70s. Once that sun sets, though, it's going to cool off quickly back into the 60s. And as we look ahead to the last day of the work week, tomorrow, we're looking at nothing but sunshine. It's a quiet day for us. Temperatures tomorrow getting up to right around 80 degrees. Then we're going to continue with that warmth all the way into the weekend. Saturday, 84 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised maybe Saturday, because we're so dry and the ground's dry, we could get up to maybe 86, 87 degrees in some areas across central Indiana. So it's a real warm day for us. And as we go into the day on Sunday, 82 degrees with just the chance of a spot storm coming into this forecast late in the day. Now going forward in the forecast, we go from summer-like warmth over the weekend to temperatures well below normal and very fall-like weather as we get into next week. During that transition, the best chance for any rain in this forecast is going to be Monday night into Tuesday. But look at the temperature by Wednesday afternoon. Our high, that's only right around 62 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic. This is I-70 out near Monrovia at State Road 39, where you can see traffic is picking up there this morning. Everything is traveling up to speed. We did have some scheduled maintenance work on the westbound side of the interstate near this area, but it looks like everything is back open at this early hour. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning and let you know if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid. It is 4:51. The American Red Cross says that its new tests are a game changer in studying COVID-19. They are now checking all blood donations for coronavirus antibodies instead of just searching for recovered patients. The tests both allow them to inform patients whether or not that they have those antibodies and to gather plasma to help those who are severely sick. The Red Cross says the need for blood donors is constant, but plasma is more unpredictable. Right now, they're asking more donors to step up to prepare for another potential surge.
Because we can't predict the demand, we want to ensure that we have enough inventory, because what really saves lives are the units that are on the shelf, not something that we need to collect once we realize there's a need.
As a precaution, you do have to set up an appointment to donate. You can sign up online at redcrossblood.org or by using the Blood Donor app. Well, you can now add former President Obama to your contact list after the break, why he says he wants you to send him a text. It's 4:52. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Are you feeling frustrated these days? Well, you can tell Barack Obama all about it. It's true. The former president wants you to text him. In a tweet Wednesday morning, he wrote, quote, "All right, let's try something new. If you're in the United States, send me a text," end quote. He says he wants to know how you're doing, what's on your mind, and how you're planning on voting this year. He then wraps it all up saying that he'll be in touch to share what's on his mind, too. Giving out his digits is part of Obama's big push to get out the vote. At 4:56, let's get a look at our forecast right now with Todd Clausen. And Todd, you could say we could use some rain here in central Indiana.
Yeah, we really could use some rain, Lauren, no doubt about it. Just not a lot in the forecast until maybe Monday into Tuesday of next week. You see that the 7-day planning forecast kind of split in half for us. We have very summer-like weather for the weekend with highs in the 80s and plenty of sunshine. And then we get into more of that typical fall-like weather next week with a big push of cool air that comes comes in. Temperatures only in the 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday. And with that cooler air will come the chance of some scattered showers as well. So pick your poison here in the 7-day planning forecast, whatever season you like, and you can celebrate that day. All right, the time now is 4:57. This is Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back at the top of the hour.